Today, let's take a look at the voter registration shifts for April of 26. And remember, this is not my own data, it's from Michael Pruser. He's associated with Decision Desk. And if your state is not included, they either didn't make the cut in time or that state just doesn't report the registration data by political party. So this is just one piece of the puzzle, but let's dive in. We'll start in Pennsylvania. Remember, Trump won this state by 1.7. Since the March update, Republicans gained over 1,200, Dems almost 4K, but other is up even more, 6,500. And pay attention over here because this is the active party registration. Some states have total party. Different states have different requirements to remain active. But here in PA, that number is over 8.3 million. And they have front-end automatic voter registration. That means you can opt out of registration when you're at the DMV. Some states have back-end, where you have to opt out after the fact. Some states have no AVR, but between the two major political parties, the Dems have a small advantage of under 48,000. Now back in 24, that was higher for the Dems. It was 131K, and back in 16, it was way higher, over 916K. So it's been narrowing for years. Some of that likely to be ancestral or legacy Democrats. That means they might have voted Republican for a long time, but never bothered to change their registration. Could be a few legacy Republicans out there as well, but this gap has gotten extremely narrow year after year, except for this last month, Dems had a bit of a gain over the GOP. Now we'll go in order, starting with the most competitive state. We've got Nevada. Trump won this one by 3.1%. Everybody losing here. We've got Republicans down 24K, Dems are down 30K. Even other is down 45K. That means Republicans here have a net advantage of 7,200. That's basically the exact inverse from Election Day 24, where Dems were up almost 7,200 themselves. Back in 16, Dems were up a lot more, 88,800. We've got North Carolina. Trump's victory here was by 3.2. Looks like we've got some voter roll cleanup. Republicans lost 7K, Dems lost more than 7,500. Independents or other is up more than 7,800. There's no AVR in this state, and Republicans have an advantage here of over 116K. Now, if you go back to 2016, Dems had a sizable advantage of their own, over 646K. That goes to show you that voter registration data is far from everything. If it wasn't, that means Dems would have been dominating here 10 years ago, but that didn't happen. In the Garden State, we've got Harris getting it by just 5.9. Republicans up just a little bit here, 37. Dems up 329. Other or unaffiliateds, they're up pretty big, 5,900. Dems have a huge advantage here, 856K. It's a little lower than 905 back in 24, and back in 16, it was also a little bit higher than it is now at 862K. In New Mexico, Harris got it by an even 6. Republicans gained 100, Dems went down 465, other is up 7K. Dem advantage 129.9. Back in 24, it was even higher. It was 154. And back in 16, it was just under 200K. We've got a Maine update. Here, Harris got it by 6.9. This update is from January. We've got a lot of cleanup here. Republicans lost a ton, almost 35,000. Dems even more than that at almost 47,000. Even other is down almost 59K. The Dem advantage here is a modest 31K. Back in 24, it was higher. It was 47. And back in 16, it was even higher at over 53. Colorado had Harris winning it by 11%. GOP gained 1,400. Dems gained 2,100. Other is the big winner here, 16K. Dem advantage, 92,000. But here's a state where other completely dwarfs the two major political parties. A lot of that is because with automatic voter registration, if you don't declare one party or the other, you're going to go down as unaffiliated or an independent. But the Dem advantage here was higher in 24. It was 110K. Back in 16, though, it was way lower. Dems just up 7K. Then we've got Florida. Trump won the state by 13.1%. Republicans gained 10,700. Dems up 5,800. Other is up 12,000. Republican advantage here keeps increasing. It's almost up to 1.5 million. Not that long ago in 24, it was under 1.1 million. And back in 16, Dems had the advantage of 327K. In Iowa, Trump won the state by 13.2. Republicans gained 413. Dems up 63. Other is up 4,400. GOP advantage is just under 199K. Back in 24, it was 173, and back in 16, it was 27. Rhode Island had Harris winning this state by 13.8. Republicans lost 166. Dems down more than that at 593. Other is up 1.5K. Dem advantage is up there at 138,000. But it was higher in 24, where it was 169. And back in 16, it was even higher at 237. Oregon was won by Harris by 14.3. Bit of a gain here for the Republicans, up 3K. Only 1K for the Dems. Other is up over 8,600. Dem advantage here is 251K. Back in 24, it was a little higher, it was 275, and back in 16, it was way lower, it was 118K. About Delaware, Harris won this by 14.7. GOP down 333, Dems down 584, others up 1795. The Dem advantage is 131K. Back in 24 it was higher, it was 145, and back in 16 it was very similar to what it is right now at 131. In the state of Nebraska, Trump won it by 20.5. Republicans here lost 77. Dems actually had a bit of a gain at 262, others up 681. Republican advantage is up there at 293K. Back in 24 it was 286, and back in 16 it was down there at 214. Then we've got Utah. We've got Trump winning it by 21.6. This is a state where Dems seem like they have success in way more often than other states. Republicans lost 810. Dems actually up more than 4,500. Other is up more than 1,700. Republican advantage, though, remains very high at 675K. It's a little bit lower than in 24, where it was 689, and back in 16, it was way lower at 416. Louisiana, Trump won this state by 22%. Republicans gained at 1,700. Dems down 3,900. Other is up 2,800. Dem advantage here is tiny. It's 14,000. That's going to flip at some point soon because in 24, Dems were up 86K, and back in 16, they were up huge, 451,000. In Maryland, Harris won the state by 28.5%. Republicans lost 520, Dems up 223, others up 5,400. Dem advantage is way up there at 1.19 million, but that is down just a bit from 1.2 million back in 24, and back in 16 it was 1.14 million. How about South Dakota? Super red state, Trump got it by 29.2, GOP up 943, Dems down 298, others up 251. GOP advantage 180K. Back in 24 it was 170. Back in 16 it was 81. In Oklahoma, Trump won it by a ton, 34.3. Republicans gained 2,800. Dems also up here, 1,500. Others up 500. It's a heavy Republican advantage here of 674K. That's higher than in 24 where it was 606, and back in 16 it was way lower. It was only 127K. Even redder of a state, Idaho, Trump won it by 36.5. Republicans gained 1,381. Dems took a bit of a hit at 91. Others down 177. GOP advantage 508,000. Back in 24 it was 496, and back in 16 it was 306. The last state we've got is West Virginia. Trump won this by a pretty huge margin, 41.9. Republicans gained 3,800. Dems lost 861. Other is down 959. GOP advantage 185K. That's up quite a bit from 24 where it was 144. And back in 16, Dems had an advantage of their own at 172,000. So the voter registration took a long time to catch up here in West Virginia. Federally, it's been a red state for a long time. Statewide, it's been a little bit more recent. But you can see here the voter registration, kind of the opposite, is Colorado. That state got much bluer, but the registration data did lag behind. So what's the conclusion here for April? Well, as I say every month, you've got to look at the long-term trends. The Dems' best state continues to be Utah. They actually had gains here while Republicans went down. The problem for them is it's still a really, really red state. Maybe that's not the case in a decade or two. But the bigger thing I always say is this really does not tell you who's going to come out to vote and who they're going to vote for. Republicans have made many, many gains in far more states than the Dems every month when I take a look at this data. But I always say that doesn't mean a whole lot because you've got to look at the actual election results. And in the specials, prior to 24 and since 24, Dems have absolutely overperformed in the vast majority. That matters far more than if you're going to make some gains in some of these states. Anything could happen in the future. Dems have been hemorrhaging voters since 24. It looks bad on paper, but if they're actually going to win elections, I don't think they're going to care a ton. So it's fun to see what happens over time, and it'd be great to see it in every single state every single month. But this is what we've got for April, so let me know in the comments. What stands out to you in which states? How much does this data matter? Let me know what you think down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.